Welcome back to the Paranormal State, Washington, and UFO UAP. With Makāula Nakae, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. Today's episode: Peru and UFOs and the paranormal. Travel often alters our perspective of the world, but rare is the journey that fundamentally rewrites our perception of reality itself. In 1991, I embarked on what was meant to be a standard tour of Peru, a country long whispered among researchers to be a global mecca of anomalous activity. What unfolded over the course of nearly 2 weeks, however, transcended the boundaries of ordinary travel. It was an intensive, unyielding immersion into phenomena that permanently compromised and challenged my consciousness, binding my life forever to the reality of UFOs, UAPs, interdimensional realms, and non-human intelligence. The journey began before our feet even touched the tarmac. As our flight descended into Lima International Airport, an initial, striking UAP sighting set the tone for what was to come. Below us, the downtown area bore the stark, haunting scars of internal terror, its streets virtually demolished and politically fractured. Yet, looking up, the skies offered a vastly different kind of disruption. That very night, from the rooftop restaurant of our hotel under a blanket of stars, another manifestation appeared. This was not a standard metallic craft or distant light, but something far more esoteric. An object fully materialized, mimicking the steady gleam of twinkling stars before shifting in a way that defied conventional astronomy. From that moment on, the sightings cascaded with relentless frequency. The anomalous events kept coming, each encounter chipping away at my rigid preconceptions, until my baseline of reality was completely dismantled. The climax of this ontological shock occurred at 3 o'clock in the morning. Alongside 3 other companions, I witnessed a massive, coordinated display, an uncountable number of UFOs manifesting across the early morning sky, arranged in deliberate, intentional formations that spanned the horizon. It was a silent, breathtaking demonstration of intelligence and scale that left no room for rationalization or doubt. Looking back, 1991, Peru was everything its reputation promised, and infinitely more. It operated as a living crucible where ancient Andean landscapes, sacred history, and high strangeness converged. Since those 2 weeks in Peru, my path has been inextricably tied to the mysteries of the skies and the unseen dimensions operating parallel to our own. It stands as proof that sometimes, to find a deeper truth about existence, the universe must reach down and completely rearrange the way you see the world. If Brazil is South America's military-vetted powerhouse, and Chile is its official scientific leader, Peru is the mystical, deeply ancient epicenter where ufology, ancient archaeology, and profound esotericism collide. Home to some of the world's most baffling ancient engineering feats and vast, mysterious landscapes, Peru occupies a legendary space in global high strangeness. The footprint of the unexplained in Peru begins with its most famous desert canvas. Etched into the stark, hyper-arid plateau of southern Peru, the Nazca Lines consist of hundreds of massive, precisely drawn geometric shapes, straight lines, sweeping trapezoids, and stylized animal and plant figures, such as the hummingbird, spider, and monkey. Covering an area of nearly 500 square kilometers, these sprawling geoglyphs are so massive that their true geometric perfection and intricate patterns can only be fully appreciated from high altitude. Mainstream archaeologists such as Maria Rica, who dedicated her life to studying and protecting the site, explain the lines as sacred ritual pathways, astronomical calendars, or water-occult geoglyphs created by ancient Andean civilizations to communicate with underground deities or gods of rain. While archaeologists view Nazca through the lens of sacred ritual, the site has served as a cornerstone of global ufology and alternative history for over half a century. Popularized globally in the mid-20th century by researchers like Erich von Däniken in Chariots of the Gods, alternative theorists argued that the perfectly straight, laser-flat geometric lines bore an uncanny resemblance to modern aviation runways. Under this framework, the geoglyphs were interpreted as massive directional markers or landing strips designed for ancient extraterrestrial spacecraft visiting Earth. Whether viewed as an ancient ritual landscape or an interstellar tarmac, the Nazca Desert remains a mandatory global pilgrimage site for anyone exploring the intersection of archaeology and high strangeness. Moving from ancient archaeological mysteries into modern close encounter history, Peru played a foundational, pioneering role in shaping Latin American contactee culture. While other nations focused on military radar or government white papers, Peru became a global capital for direct, telepathic, and organized human ET communication. Mission Rahma, Mission Rahma, Contact from Ganymede. In the 1970s, at the height of the global contactee wave, Peruvian author, researcher, and experiencer Sixto Paz Wells catapulted South American ufology onto the world stage by launching Mission Rahma. Paz Wells and a circle of associates claim they established telepathic communication with non-human intelligences, identifying themselves as benevolent guides from Ganymede, the largest moon of Jupiter. Unlike darker science fiction tropes of invasion, the Rahma contact movement emphasized a spiritual message. That humanity was on the verge of a critical evolutionary crossroads, and that higher cosmic intelligences were intervening to offer spiritual guidance, ecological warnings, and higher consciousness teachings. What separated Mission Rahma from mere philosophical musings was its public methodology. Paz Wells and his followers began inviting journalists, television crews, and independent scientists to join them in the desert to witness scheduled, pre-announced UFO manifestations. Located along the arid Pacific coastline, just south of Lima, the Chilca Desert quickly transformed into the spiritual and physical epicenter for these organized skywatching expeditions. Throughout the late 20th century and continuing into the modern era, Chilca became world famous as a hyperactive hotspot where glowing orbs, morphing lights, and structured disc-shaped craft would routinely appear right on schedule during group meditations and telepathic calling sessions. International documentary crews, prominent journalists, and curious seekers flocked to the sands of Chilca to test the contactees' claims. Many left stunned after witnessing luminous objects executing impossible maneuvers over the Pacific horizon, cementing the Chilca Desert as a legendary destination for global astrotourism and direct contact seekers. Peru's high strangeness landscape is not limited to ancient geoglyphs or desert skywatching vigils. It frequently commands explosive global headlines regarding biological anomalies. Yet, this arena sits at the volatile intersection of fringe speculation, sensationalized media, and fierce scientific scrutiny. Over recent years, international media and alternative research circuits were set ablaze by sensational reports emerging from the Peruvian desert. Promoted heavily by various domestic and international investigators and famously platformed on global stages by figures like Jamie Mawson, several small, mummified biological specimens, allegedly unearthed in the Nazca region, were presented to the public. The specimens featured starkly unusual physiological structures, elongated skulls, diminutive frames, and distinctive three-fingered hands and feet, completely lacking conventional human nail beds or joint arrangements. Proponents argued these were the preserved remains of non-human terrestrial or extraterrestrial entities. As the claims went viral globally, the scientific and legal establishment in Peru intervened sharply to investigate the origin of the artifacts. Peruvian authorities, forensic archaeologists, and legal experts from the Ministry of Culture launched rigorous investigations. Authorities seized several suspected specimens to subject them to advanced carbon dating, DNA sequencing, and anatomical scans. The scientific consensus delivered by official bodies and independent anthropological institutions was decisive. Forensic analysis revealed that the seized specimens were sophisticated composite objects, artfully constructed dolls or historical craft assemblages, fashioned by human hands using a mix of genuine animal bones. Human skeletal fragments such as children's hands and animal skin bonded together with modern or traditional adhesives. Despite repeated official debunkings, legal crackdowns on illicit artifact trafficking, and harsh rebukes from mainstream academic institutions, the Nazca mummies controversy refuses to fade away. Conferences, underground documentaries, and alternate digital channels continue to challenge the official forensic findings, arguing that genuine non-human biological samples remain hidden among the fabricated specimens. Whether viewed as an elaborate archaeological hoax, an illicit grave-robbing enterprise, or a suppressed biological discovery, the relentless media storms ensure that Peru remains perpetually anchored at the absolute center of global anomaly discussions. Beyond nuts and bolts ufology, modern contactee lore, and biological controversies, Peru's relationship with the paranormal is inseparable from its deep Andean and Incan worldview. Here, the unseen world is not a matter of fringe speculation, but of daily, living reverence. In traditional Andean cosmology, the towering peaks of the Andes are not viewed simply as cold, inanimate geological formations or rock and ice. Mountains are revered as Apus, living, sentient, and powerful spiritual entities that watch over local communities, control weather systems, and dispense fortune or disaster. Traditional healers, known locally as curanderos or pacas, Andean priests, regularly commune with these mountain spirits through elaborate despachos, offerings, coca leaf divination, and ritual ceremonies to maintain sacred reciprocity, between humanity and the earth. Peru is globally recognized as the spiritual heartland of indigenous plant medicine traditions, most notably ayahuasca in the Amazon basin and the San Pedro cactus, achuma, in the Andean highlands. Thousands of seekers and researchers travel annually to the sacred valley and the rainforest to experience non-ordinary states of consciousness. Traditional practitioners and modern psychonauts alike view these brews not as mere hallucinogens, but as active botanical technologies, biological keys that open a gateway to hyperdimensional intelligences, ancestral spirit guides, and deep cosmic truths. While the arid coastal sands of Chilca served as Mission Rahma's primary testing ground for scheduled contact, Cusco and the Sacred Valley of the Incas represent Peru's most spiritually charged, megalithic, and high strangeness heartland. Nestled high in the Peruvian Andes, this region is not only the historical and architectural capital of the Inca Empire, it is also a legendary theater for anomalous aerial phenomena, interdimensional lore, and ancient engineering mysteries. The entire corridor stretching from Cusco through the Sacred Valley, including Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, and Pisac, is defined by cyclopean stone masonry that has baffled mainstream architects and fueled alternative theories for centuries. Massive granite and limestone blocks weighing upwards of 100 to 130 tons are fitted together with laser-like precision without mortar, capable of withstanding catastrophic Andean earthquakes. In local Andean mythology, these hyper-advanced stoneworks were not built by ordinary human hands alone, but with the assistance of ancient sky gods, creator deities like Viracocha, or pre-Diluvian beings possessing advanced technological or harmonic knowledge. To ufologists and ancient astronaut theorists, the Sacred Valley stands as physical evidence of ancient extraterrestrial intervention. The towering geography of the Sacred Valley, flanked by sacred snow-capped peaks, Apus, like Picchu, Chicon, and Verdun, creates a unique convergence of tectonic fault lines, magnetic mineral deposits, and intense atmospheric conditions. Local residents, trekking guides, and international travelers frequently report anomalous luminous orbs, glowing disc-shaped craft, and silent lights maneuvering effortlessly around the jagged peaks of the Urubamba mountain range. Alternative researchers frequently point to flat, high-altitude Andean plateaus and ancient terraced agricultural sites, such as the concentric circular terraces of Moray as energetic focal points or historical landing sites, utilized by non-human intelligences. In Cusco and the Sacred Valley, the boundary between ancient animism and modern ufology completely dissolves. When traditional Andean pacas, priests, or curanderos witness lights moving across the night sky above the Andes, they do not separate them from their sacred cosmology. They view UFOs, luminous orbs, and aerial anomalies as modern manifestations of the Wanumapu, the celestial realm, and the protective energy of the Apus. Today, Cusco and the Sacred Valley attract thousands of seekers, psychonauts, and researchers who combine plant medicine ceremonies, like ayahuasca and San Pedro, with night sky watching, treating the ancient Incan capital as a living portal where earth, cosmos, and consciousness intersect. Moving along the floor and towering ridges of Peru's Sacred Valley, the towns of Urubamba form crucial anchors in a landscape deeply charged with ancient myth and modern UFO lore. Flanked by massive Andean peaks and carved by the sacred river systems, these twin cultural hubs serve as fertile ground for encounters with high strangeness. Geographical and energetic center, situated directly in the fertile middle of the Sacred Valley, Urubamba, click to open side panel for more information. Sits in the shadow of massive guardian mountains like Mount Chicon. Because of its valley floor basin geography, it acts as an acoustic and energetic funnel. Local residents, holistic travelers, and Andean guides in Urubamba, click to open side panel for more information. Frequently report silent, luminous orbs gliding down from the high alpine passes into the valley late at night. These lights often move with a deliberate, non-ballistic trajectory, weaving between cloud layers before disappearing against the dark stone faces of the Andes. Like Machu Picchu, the sacred architecture at Picchu was engineered to track solstices and equinoxes with absolute precision. In alternative and contactee circles, these high-altitude solar temples are viewed as ancient energetic beacons or transceivers designed to communicate with celestial forces. Local folklore and modern esoteric researchers often describe as an interdimensional portal or vortex. Visitors and night watchers camping near the outer sectors of the ruins have reported sudden, localized drops in temperature, intense electromagnetic anomalies, and sudden flashes of light cutting across the valley sky. Phenomena that bridge ancient Incan sun worship with contemporary UAP encounters. Perched dramatically on a razor-sharp ridge high above the Urubamba River Canyon, historic sanctuary of Machu Picchu is universally celebrated as the crown jewel of Incan engineering and architectural mastery. Yet, beyond its mainstream renown as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a 15th-century imperial estate, Machu Picchu occupies a legendary, highly charged position in global ufology, alternative history, and esoteric lore. Like many of Peru's megalithic sites, Machu Picchu's sheer physical construction has long invited speculation that reaches beyond conventional human history. The site's polished dry stone walls, constructed from massive granite blocks, fitted so tightly together that not even a credit card can slip between them, defy the rugged vertical topography of the Andes. Since the mid-20th century rise of ancient astronaut theories, alternative researchers have pointed to Machu Picchu's extreme, cloud-piercing isolation as an ideal sky sanctuary. Under this framework, the citadel is viewed not merely as a royal retreat for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, but as an energetic anchor point or landing nexus designed to interface with celestial forces, star alignments, and visiting non-human intelligences. At the very heart of the citadel sits one of Machu Picchu's most sacred and debated artifacts, the Intihuatana stone. Carved directly into the bedrock, this multi-tiered stone sculpture was utilized by Incan astronomers as a precise solar clock and calendar to track the equinoxes and solstices, ensuring sacred synchronization between Earth and the cosmos. In esoteric and contactee circles, the Intihuatana is frequently described as more than a mere calendar. Alternative traditions view it as an energetic transceiver, a focal point designed to channel cosmic frequencies, anchor stellar energies, and maintain a direct bridge between the earthly realm, Nagmapu, and the celestial sky domain, Winumapu. The airspace directly surrounding Machu Picchu and its sentinel guardian peak, Huayna Picchu, has a long history of unexplained aerial reports. Tour guides, park rangers, and travelers camping or lodging near the base of the sanctuary frequently report silent, luminous orbs and glowing disc-shaped lights, maneuvering effortlessly through the narrow, mist-filled mountain valleys at night. Because the sanctuary is protected by strict international aviation no-fly zones, many of these glowing, erratic nocturnal lights cannot be easily dismissed as commercial aircraft or drones, fueling local folklore that the ancient citadel remains actively watched over by non-human intelligence. In the lore of high strangeness, historic sanctuary of Machu Picchu is rarely viewed as a dead, abandoned ruin. Instead, it is treated as a living, sacred battery, an architectural marvel, built at the exact intersection of earth and sky, where ancient Incan star worship, megalithic engineering, and modern UFO phenomena seamlessly converge. In Peru, UFOs and the paranormal are deeply intertwined with the country's ancient sacred past. From the giant geometric lines of the Nazca Desert on legendary contactee movements in Chilca, to living shamanic traditions and sentinel mountain spirits, Peru treats the unknown not as a modern science fiction concept, but as a living, breathing continuation of its profound heritage, to be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archive Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact, The Paranormal State. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute hit of real-life experiences, perfect for your daily plunge into consciousness exploration. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.